Welcome, students. This is my fourth Photoshop video for Unit 5, the awareness poster. So I'm going to open up Photoshop, and I'm actually just going to show you my example for my awareness poster. And this is the one that I created. I used all images that I found from Google and text that I created in Photoshop. So the theme of my poster was about difference, which seems to be an overwhelming topic in America right now. And I was trying to promote kind of an embracing our differences because we're all Americans, and it's really tough to be united as Americans when we're all arguing with each other. So that was kind of the theme, was stop hating each other and start embracing each other. So that was kind of my theme. And so what I wanted to do was make it very simple. And I wanted the colors to not be super vibrant, but I wanted the colors on the LGBTQ flag to kind of pop. And then I also, if I thought about making the American flag in color, but if I would have made the American flag in color, I think it would have just been too many colors going on. So I decided to just use the black and white version of the flag, just to kind of make the balance a little bit better. So I really thought a lot about how to lay out a poster using these photo edits. I've talked about how to do text. I've talked about how to add images. The two things that I haven't really talked about is the paint buckets tool and then how to lay images together. So like how to actually get one image inside of another image. So to do that, I'm going to show you really quickly. I'm going to create a new document. And for this one, because it's a poster, I decided to use print. And so I just did tabloid, which is 11 by 17, and I hit create. So the first thing I haven't really gone over yet is how to actually change the color of an entire canvas. So to do that, you're going to choose the paint bucket tool. And there's a couple different options on the paint bucket tool. There's a gradient tool as well, which is kind of confusing to use, but you can look up a YouTube video if you're interested. I just don't want to waste too much time in this demo video. I'm just going to do a plain color, and I'm just going to choose the color. Let's do mint this time. And now I'm just going to tap my screen, and it will change the color of my sheet. So easy peasy, right? The gradient is a slightly more complicated, but you can check that out, and that's just changes from one color to the next. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is how to put an image into another image. So I'm going to add a photo layer. I'm actually going to bring up one of the silhouettes that I brought up for my image. So let's bring up this image right here, and I'm going to click and drag and make him larger. Okay, and now one thing I do is, so there's sometimes this checkerboard background. It's like a fake PNG. So a PNG file is one that doesn't have a background. So sometimes you'll download an image from Google that says it's a PNG, but it's actually a screenshot of this checkerboard. And I can't choose the magic wand tool and erase the checkerboard. It just doesn't work. Sometimes it does. But if you want to, you can select the opposite. Select him, choose invert, and then erase, and then deselect, and that will leave you with your image, which is pretty great. So the other thing that I did was I actually flipped this image, if you didn't notice in my original poster, and that's up at the top right corner. You can actually just flip those back and forth, and it works pretty easily. So I'm going to hit done. So now is the more complicated part. So I'm going to add that American flag layer, which is here. And so what I did was I made this layer large. If you ever want to cut out part of an object, the crop button, if you didn't notice this already, the crop button crops your entire canvas. You can't just crop a specific image, which is kind of a bummer. So to avoid that, you can use if you click on the magic wand tool, it should say marquee rectangle. You can actually drag over an image and then just hit erase, and that will erase part of your image, and then deselect. So just kind of a quick tip for that. So now I'm going to make this flag the same size as the silhouette, but I can't see the silhouette, right? So we talked about in the last demo that I can change the opacity of the layer so that I can see through it to make sure that it's going to fit over that person, which it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this layer of this person. So I don't have to rearrange the layers. Okay, I can just tap on that person, and now I'm going to choose the magic wand tool again. Okay, so now I'm going to click on that person, and again, because I'm selected on the person layer, it selects the person. If I was selected on the flag layer, the magic wand wouldn't work. right? So I have to tap on the person and then use the magic wand tool. Now what I'm going to do is while that person is still selected, I'm going to choose the American flag layer. Now you'll notice that my selection still stays on the person even though I'm clicked on that new layer. So now I'm going to hit the erase button. Ooh, but that didn't work. It erased the flag, not the area around. So what I want to do is I'm going to undo. I want to invert that selection and then hit erase. So what's that going to do is I'm clicked on the flag layer. It's going to delete everything around my selection on the layer that I'm currently selected on. So I hit erase, and then I can hit deselect. And now, because I had that layer selected, now my American flag erased in the shape of that layer that I selected. Pretty cool, right? Now I can bring the opacity back up, and now what I have is an outline of that person. Now, if you want to delete this layer, you can. You don't need the person anymore, and that's totally fine. I'm going to go back to my layer box. So I can just delete him because now I just have this new layer that's just the American flag in the shape of the person. So that's kind of the new thing that I didn't really explain, but is very useful if you want to do just a little bit more than the minimum requirements to try to organize your poster. So now going back to my final poster, now you can see that I did what I just showed you for all three of those figures, as well as putting some of those different images together. So be creative with these. Remember, for posters, less is more. You want your posters to really have that emphasis point and be specific to the mood that you're trying to come across. So good luck, and I'm excited to see what your